Welcome back to another Imperator Rome campaign. We are using the Terra-Indomita mod again, and we are trying to reform the Persian Empire. At the game's start date, the Persian Empire is of course no longer around. In its place there are the successor states to Alexander's kingdoms, which are the Antigonid Kingdom, the Ptolemaic Kingdom in Egypt, and the Seleucid Empire in Persia proper. We can form Persia either as Persia Pelsis or as Atropatene, which both have cultures from the Iranian culture group. We could also form it as Armenia, which is of course a former client state and part of the Persian Empire. Or we could go with Recolor Country. This state has of course Hellenic religion and culture, but the ruler is Amastris of the house of Achaemenid, which is of course the ruling family of the former Persian or Achaemenid Empire, and she alongside her two sons forms the last surviving branch of this family. So, as Recolor, we can change to Persian culture and reform the Achaemenid Empire, which we will attempt to do. Without further ado, we will start the game. The first thing we will have to do is make a choice. We can either go with our Greek culture of the state we are ruling, or we can go with the Persian culture of our ruler. We will have to take the second option to gain access to the last of the Achaemenids mission tree and also the ability to form Persia. As you can see, we are a very small state surrounded by much larger and much stronger states. Therefore, we will have to do some diplomacy to get us some strong allies that can carry us through the early game. More on that later. For now, we will start by selecting national ideas, morale of armies, level of corruption, loyalty of generals. We will also have to adjust our deities and select an omen to call upon. For one, as you can see, all of our deities are Hellenic, as we of course started as a Hellenic nation, but now we are Zoroastrian, so we will go in and change our deity of war to Darius the Great. Darius is of course a deified ruler, and he has the special effect of up to 5 pops in our territory will assimilate to his Persian culture, which especially in the early game, seeing as we are very far away from any Persian pops, is going to be quite helpful to us. Other than that, we can select an omen. It doesn't really matter, since with our low religious unity we have such low omen power that the effects are almost non-existent, but we will go with mercenary army maintenance reduction. We will have to marry our ruler, ideally to someone with both high martial and high seal, to counterbalance our relatively low martial and seal. Now we could go with highest martial, we could go with the highest seal, but I think we will go the middle way and marry Xerxes Achaemenid, who is of course from our Persian culture and has decently high stats. We will pay him, that's fine. We will give our ruler a strategy focus. We will import some salt. We'll rearrange our navy, give them an admiral, and we can get some inventions. So we will have to be fast in our initial conquest, so we go for some sieging inventions. And additionally we will start going down. Aggressive expansion reduction. Other than that, we are almost done. We will ally our defensive league members. This is for several reasons. One is they will be very helpful in our initial conquests, and the other is, of course, through our mission tree we will have the option to make them our feudatories if we are allied to them, which we may or may not do. We will also have to befriend the Armenian king to get an alliance with Armenia. Other than that, we can see here we don't have access to the mission tree yet, but once one in-game day has passed, it should update, and there it is, the last of the Achaemenid mission tree. We will start the mission, we get a claim on our home province, and we will have to appease our two sons to marry them off to the royal families of Armenia and Chios. Now let us see, our younger son is always very disloyal, so we will have to give him free hands and bribe him just to get the securing succession decision. Now they are both married, and we can finally unpause the game and wait for our first chance to declare war. It is now the 31st of October, we will increase our military pay and raise our levies, because as soon as we switch to November we will declare war on Caconia, so that they cannot ally or will not ally any other states around them, because it will be hard enough as is to conquer these small states. So let's go ahead. It is now the 1st of November, we declare war on Caconia, call in all our allies and confirm. They're now all at war, we will go ahead and siege their capital. Usually within the first few days of November, Odrysia will declare war on Thrace. We are of course called in as we are the allies of Thrace, but we will not get involved because they will manage on their own. We are now friends with the Armenian king, which will enable us to take this decision, which after 60 days will ally us to Armenia. And here we are. We gain some stability, some political influence, but most importantly we get a very powerful ally in Armenia. So we could call them in, but we will not do that, just because we don't need them for now, and they are of course busy with the Cappadocian civil war themselves. And we have won our first war. They will have to accept, since we have 100 war score, and we will take everything. We will imprison their leaders. That is because, of course, we can see if they have any characters with the scholar, intelligent or polymath traits, and also we can sell any characters that we don't want into slavery. They have 2 polymaths, we will release one and give him citizenship, just so that we can get him to be our researcher. The rest of them will be sold into slavery. This will make us a nice amount of money. Other than that, we will start to go. Let me think. We'll probably go for Mariandinia first. Yeah, I think that is alright. We declare war, call in all our allies and confirm. They all accepted and we go in. The Armenians have arrived to carry us, so this war should be easy enough. We will give this province to Thrace, it doesn't really matter to us, and sue for peace. Next up is, of course, Paphlagonia. Unfortunately for us, the Antigonids have caved in to Thrace and given them all of this, which makes us very much unlikely to get any of this. But we can always expand eastwards. We will reduce our military pay a little bit. We will get some mercenaries. These should do 104. We will go into deficit for a little bit, but it should be fine. Other than that, we go ahead and declare war on Paphlagonia. Call in all our allies. Confirm. They all accept. And we start conquering. As always, Armenia should carry us quite nicely. We can now start with our military reforms. Not sure, I think we will save our political influence for now for the Pontic League, which is a bit more important. This can be done at any point in time and it is really detrimental to begin with. We have of course won this war. We will take not everything actually. We will avoid taking this province, also for later this and this province. We will not this and this province actually we will not take, since there will be a Galatian invasion of Anatolia and we don't want to fight the Gauls. So we accept this peace deal, or maybe, just maybe, we could make them our client state, but actually that would be quite pointless, so we won't do that. We just take these provinces. Next up, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do. We could eventually go against Thrace. We will see. For now, I think we'll take all our troops, send them here and reduce our military pay. Chios has declared war on us. I'm not sure why they have straight declared war. Usually they seize these territories and we would have to fight them there, but we will take the advantage to fight just such a small state. We will go in and siege them down and ideally conquer their territory. I was thinking of going against Thrace, since we have a war goal against their tributary in Bithynia, but they might be too strong for us, since Armenia is almost going, so they are definitely going to have a civil war and they won't accept our war, so we would lose our alliance with them if we called them in, so we will not do that. Usually what happens if the Antigonids do not cave in to Thrace, they will be at war with Egypt, the Seleucid Empire, Macedon and Thrace, which would allow us to take advantage and take over these territories. Unfortunately for us, they have given them to Thrace, so we may get the opportunity or we may not get it. It doesn't really matter, since we don't need the territories but they would of course be beneficial to us. And there they are. The Gauls have invaded Anatolia. They usually spawn with about 50,000 troops, which we could of course never have fought, so we very much avoided taking these territories. We will also start performing divine sacrifices, since we need high stability for our missions to complete, so we will work in that direction. The siege of Chios is won, and we should be able to take over the city, which we will of course do, and imprison their leaders. You can see here the Gauls have now formed Galatia. They are quite a bit stronger now than they were before, but they probably will be not too hard to conquer eventually. Now we can complete the Pontic League, which we will do. We should be strong enough to make them join us, but in case they don't, we will just conquer them. We make the offer and see what they will do. Theon accepts, and Sesamos accepts. They are now our feudatories, which means they no longer take up a diplomatic relations spot, so we are good. In about 10 years we will at least annex Sesamos, because we need the city for our missions, but probably also Theon, since such small feudatories, unless we are doing imperial conquests, are not very useful. I have decided that we will not declare war on Thrace, because Armenia will not join us anytime soon, so we will just develop what we have, go down our mission tree once our stability is up, once we have annexed Sesamos, and once we can get our military traditions reformed. So for now there's not a whole lot to do actually. Unfortunately, the Ariarethid kingdom has taken over Pontus, and they are allied to Armenia, so unless we want to lose Armenia as our ally, which we of course do not want to, we will see how to manage this. Maybe we'll call Armenia into another war, in which case they will not be able to join against us in this war, and we could keep them, but that is quite far away still. We have raised our stability to 55, and that enables us to stabilize our rule. This will give us claims on a lot of the Pontic coastline, and some ruler popularity, and a nice trait of wise. So we do that. Wise gives us some finesse, some national citizen output, and a lot of claims. We of course cannot yet found Amastris, since we do not yet have Sesamos annexed. It will take a little bit of time, but we can expand eastwards. And we just got an event to annex Sesamos straight away. Apparently their ruler is not very capable, so we will have to step in and restore order. Sesamos is now ours. We will delete the fort in Sinope, just because they are very expensive, those forts, and we will move our province capital over here. Anyways, we will now declare war on Amisos. We will of course only call in Thrace, because Armenia should not get any of this coastline. Thanks to our son being scared of being killed under cruel circumstances, we now have enough money to found the city of Amastris, which we will do. We now have enough military experience to study the Greek ways of war, which we will also need to reform our military. So this will lose us some stability, some political influence and our military experience, but we will gain access to the Greek ways of war. Apparently the Ariarifid kingdom has broken their alliance with Armenia, or the other way around, not entirely sure, but I am sure that we can now declare war on them. With the help of Thrace, we should be fine over here. At least I hope we will be fine, otherwise we will have to hire more mercenaries, we will go into deficit, we will have a very bad time. But we'll see soon enough how it works out. We will eventually need to integrate one of the Anatolian cultures, and seeing as we are at war with a Cappadocian nation, we will integrate the Cappadocian culture. We will start with that immediately, because right now we have only 20 pops of their culture, and with fewer pops the integration will move on much faster than if we were to integrate all the pops that we are going to conquer. We will not give this territory to Thrace, we need it, and we cannot have them take over territory that we need. So we will not fully annex them and imprison the Carusian leadership. We now have again the political influence to start our military reforms, and since we are already low on experience, it really won't matter if we lose a bunch of military experience. The Cappadocians are done for. We will sue for peace and take everything. This will give us a lot of aggressive expansion, so we will have to take some time to come back from that. But for now, this helps us a lot, with a lot of strength, since we have now integrated the Cappadocian culture, and this will increase our levy size by a bunch. We are now a major power, and we will imprison their leaders. We will get some governors. This one seems reasonable. We will take the defending liberties invention. We will see, there is no forts that need to be destroyed, except for this one. We will disband all our levies, and we will get rid of the mercenaries. We don't need them right now. There you are. You're fired. Maintenance down. Imports. Iron. And fruits seems reasonable. Thanks to us having studied the Greek ways of war, we can now learn from defeat and get some Hellenic pops. Yes, we have learned from Alexander and got a new character who is very skilled in warfare. Next up will be Cataphracts and the new Immortals. It will take us some time to get those, but as you can see, we will start to get a lot of new buffs soon. We get heavy infantry buffs, we get territory buffs, and we will get army buffs in general. We will increase our pay, raise our levies, and hopefully be strong enough to take on the Galatians. We will see about that. It might be painful and it might be a loss. We cannot tell right away. We apparently do not have a war goal, and Armenia doesn't want to join us. We will have to wait. I have decided that while we are waiting for our war goal against Galatia, we will indeed go against Bithynia and integrate the Mariandynian cultures. We go here, Mariandynian, we make them citizens. This will make us lose even more stability, but we are actually quite fine on that part. So for now, we increase our pay and go against Bithynia. We have won the war, we will take everything and increase the leaders, even though we don't really need the money anymore, but of course there's still some benefits to be had, possibly. Other than that, we now own Byzantium, so we have already won, in my book at least. We finally got our war goal on Galatia, so we will see if Armenia is again not willing to join us. Let's hope we can it without them, because we can't wait all that much longer. We got some pretty strong levies now, but you can never be sure just how strong the Galatians will be. We declare war, and we send in everything we have. It's very close, but I think we should be fine here, right? They're almost out of morale. Yeah, we won. That was an important battle. But I think, just to be sure, we will get some mercenaries to assist us. Here they come. We'll take back our territory first. You can see it right here. Once our mercenaries hit them, they did not stand much of a chance, and we are almost done with our conquest here. We will just wait for this siege to be over, and once it is, we will thank them and take everything. This should do. Now we can get rid of our mercenaries and disband our levies. We will also reduce our military pay once more. Now we need a governor, which you will do, and we can finish the mission into Paphlagonia. This gives us reduced aggressive expansion impact after we have conquered a bunch and got a lot of aggressive expansion, but we can now start the mission for Anatolian citizenship, which we will do. Next up, we will need to develop Sinope. Still, we just have to wait for the pops to arrive over here, Other than that, we will probably change our diplomatic stance to an appeasing stance, because we have so much aggressive expansion, and our allies would not very much appreciate it if we did not appease. And I think this is actually where we will leave it for this episode. We have expanded from a 2-province minor to a major power, controlling most of inner Anatolia and the southern coast of the Black Sea. So, what we still have to do, we have to finish reforming our military, we have to do some religious reforms, we have to develop our territories, and we will of course have to get Armenia to get back under our rule, as they should be. They have had their freedom, now it's time to go back into the fold. Last part of the mission tree will of course be founding the Achaemenid kingdom, which will of course be a large step towards reclaiming Persia proper.